Nick and Ruby here today, and we are coming at you from Flex and Flow with our chill class. And this class is a blend of slow movements, deep stretches, and restorative postures that are really good for the body and the mind. This class is perfect if you are taking a recovery day, or it's just a really great practice to bring into your everyday to slow down, to restore, and to rest. So I highly suggest that you take this any time of day, but it's really nice in the evening before going to bed to aid in a nice, restful night of sleep. So we will get started here with a little bit of prop maintenance before we get into the class. All of these things you can find at home. They don't have to be specific yoga props. You'll need at least one blanket. You can grab two if you need more height underneath your seat. And then 2 blocks. You can also get a stack of books or some large encyclopedia books, whatever you have, but something that'll give a little bit of height and make sure that they're somewhat even height. So we'll need those 2 props, or 3. And we'll start off with our first restorative position, Supta Baddha Konasana, which is a reclined bound ankle pose. So the way we'll set up is you'll need your blocks and your blanket. Ruby is going to take a seat in bound ankle, knees are wide, soles of the feet together, and then she'll take her 2 blocks and bring them on the middle or lowest height underneath her knees for support. And this is really nice if you are feeling a really intense stretch already in the inner thighs when you come into that bound ankle seat. It will support the legs so you can stay in this posture longer. We'll take the blanket and we'll set it up behind her about a fist's width distance from her tailbone to the blanket. And then she'll slowly lay back down on the blanket using her hands to walk herself down, lining the blanket up with her spine here. From here, she can rest her head on the blanket edge. If she wants more of a pillow for her neck, she can roll the blanket underneath like a little Swiss cake roll. So she has a little bit of support for the neck, for that natural curve. She'll rest her hands on her belly. She can also rest them down by the sides, palms facing up. Just go ahead and find a comfortable place here in this reclined position. We will be here for some time, so you can really find the benefits and the rest in this posture. I invite you to close down the eyes if that's comfortable for you and begin to take your attention to your breath. Watch the breath move in and out the nose here. Allow it to be soft, allow it to be natural. Allow yourself to let go of anything going on in your day, anything going on off the mat here. This time is really for you to cultivate a sense of calm and a sense of rest. So go ahead and dedicate this time just for that. We'll pause here for the next 8 breaths. Smooth and steady, melting deeper into this gentle heart and hip opener on every exhale. On your next inhale, we'll start to deepen out the breath here. Arms will travel down by your sides. Take the hands to the outsides of the thighs and draw the knees up to the ceiling, planting the soles of the feet on the mat. Forearms will plant down into the mat. Pressing into the forearms, lift the chest so that you can move the blanket out from underneath you. And then go ahead and lay back down on your mat without any props underneath you. Draw the knees into the chest, arms wrap around the shins, and rock side to side, releasing down through the low back. Give yourself a little massage. Begin to roll off to one side and use your hands to press to a comfortable seat. And then we'll shift into tabletop all fours, either shifting to one side or rolling over the knees. For tabletop pose, wrists line up underneath the shoulders, knees line up underneath the hips. Fingers are spreading wide, outer arms are wrapping in, long neutral spine from tail to crown of the head. And we'll use the breath here and connect it with the movements as we take some cat-cow tilts. On the inhale, lift through the heart and the sitting bones, find a little back bend through the upper middle back, cow. And exhale, we'll round into the upper back, pressing the floor away, tucking the chin and scooping the belly for cat. Again, inhale, draw the heart forward between the arms, open wide across the chest. Exhale, round, press the floor away. Feel the shoulder blades move apart here, stretching through the upper back. Again, inhale through your cow, lifting through the sternum, lifting through the sitting bones. Exhale, round into the cat, pressing the floor away. 2 more rounds like this. Deep breath in for the back bend. Deep breath out as we press the floor away and round. 1 more round like this. Deep breath in, lifting through the heart, opening wide across the chest. And breath out, pressing the floor away. Meeting in a neutral spine tabletop. Keep the left hand rooted down into the mat. Inhale, reach the right arm high, opening through the chest. On the exhale, we'll thread that right arm in between the left arm and leg, lowering down to the right shoulder and gently resting on the right side of the head. Come up onto the left fingertips, elbow points up, press into the fingertips, and roll open through the chest. So we're stretching through the upper back as well as getting a nice twist here through the middle of the spine. The lower belly draws in, the shins root evenly down. On every exhale, open through the chest a little bit more. We'll take 3 more full breaths in and out here. Smooth and steady with that breath. Begin to walk your left hand back underneath your shoulder, root it down, and sweep that right arm high again. Opening through the chest. Right hand releases down under the right shoulder and other side. Inhale, left arm reaches high, open through the chest, find space. And exhale, thread the needle. Left arm sweeps underneath the chest, between the right leg and arm. We'll lower gently onto that left shoulder and side of the head. Lifting up onto the right fingertips, elbow points up, press into the fingertips, open through the chest here. Breathing into the back, especially between the spine and that left shoulder blade. Navel drawing the spine here as we twist deeper on every exhale. And again, try to root down evenly through both shins here to support you. 3 more breaths here, finding length and space on every inhale. Finding depth and softness on every exhale. Walk the left hand, right hand back in under your shoulder. Inhale, reach the left arm high, open through the chest again. Exhale, lower the hand back down. Walk the hands forward a couple inches in front of your shoulders. Tuck your toes, lift your hips up and back, downward facing dog. We're not here for long, so if this inversion pose does not work for you, you can take it with the knees down on the mat. Or you can take it with a deep bend in your knees. If you'd like to find some movement in this first down dog, you're welcome to. Bending one knee, straightening the other, pedaling out through the legs to open up to the backs of the legs. Press the floor with the hands. If you'd like, you can shift hips side to side, finding a little side body stretch. And as always, I encourage you to take any movements that feel good here. Feel free to explore whatever it is that you need to help open up through the arms, the sides of the body, the legs. Take 2 more breaths here, smooth it out. You might notice the shoulders starting to heat up, the core and the legs are heating up here. And this will be good as we take this into our next pose, which will stretch out the legs a little more, as well as the shoulders. On your next inhale, extend the right leg up and back behind you. Exhale, roll open through the hips to stack the hips and bend the right knee, squeeze the heel in towards the seat. Feel the stretch along that right hip flexor. Inhale, re-extend the legs, level off the hips. And on the exhale, right knee, right tricep, just as a transition, step the right foot outside the right hand for lizard lunge. Back knee stays lifted for a moment. Hands under the shoulders. Press back with the left heel and reach forward with the crown of the head. If the hands don't rest comfortably onto the mat, you can always bring blocks underneath the hands. Take 1 more deep breath in, find space across the front body. And on the exhale, lower the left knee down and curl the toes. From here, hands are on mat or blocks, or forearms can lower down to the mat or onto blocks if you need more height. We're stretching through that left hip flexor. We're opening up through that right groin. That outer right hip is firming in to help keep the knee pointing in line with the second toes here. We'll pause and breathe for the next 5 or so breaths so that we can find that release as we hold that pose longer. Smooth out the breath here, stay right on the mat. Come back to the intention of slowing down and calming the body and the mind. And the breath is the best tool to take you there. On your next inhale, if your forearms are down on the mat, begin to place the hands underneath your shoulders. The left hand stays down underneath your shoulder. Right hand comes to the right inner thigh, gently nudging that thin inner thigh open and lean the chest back. You can roll to the knife edge of the right foot. If you turn the right knee out, just make sure the toes of the knee are pointing in the same direction. And if you'd like a deeper stretch through the left quad, you'll squeeze that left heel to your seat. Reach opposite hand, so right hand to the top of the left foot, catching the foot for the bind. If you have that bind, press the foot to the hand into the foot, and then lean the chest back. I always encourage you to really find something that feels good in these lizard lunges, because this is a place that I want to live in for as long as possible. So go ahead, explore this pose, find what you need, leave what you don't. 1 more deep breath in, breath out. If you have that bind, gently release it, lowering that left foot down. Right hand plants underneath your shoulder. Back toes tuck, lift the knee. Step the right foot back, downward facing dog, and take any movements that you need, pedaling out through the legs, shifting hips side to side. And maybe notice the difference in sides right now in the right leg that we just stretched through the hip and groin and the left hip flexor. And notice the difference here. On the next inhale, left leg extends up and back. Roll open through the hip to stack and bend the left knee, drawing the heel towards the seat, stretching through the front of your left hip flexor. Inhale, extend the leg long, level the hips. Draw the left knee to the left tricep and take a big step outside the left hand for lizard lunge. The active variation first, the back knee is lifted. Hands under the shoulders on the mat or on blocks for more height. Press back through the right heel, reach forward with the crown of the head. Breathing length and space in the front body here as we open up. Taking one more deep breath in. Breath out, gently lower the back knee down and curl the toes. You can always support the back knee if it's sensitive with a blanket or rolling up the mat if you need. Hands are planted underneath the shoulders on blocks or lowered down onto the forearms. Forearms can also be on blocks. Firm the outer left hip in so the knee stays in line with the second toes. Draw the lower belly in to keep the length through the spine here. So there is some stability or some activation in the muscles here as you hug muscles in towards the bones, and then the stretch will happen through the hip flexor and the groin. Smooth out the breath. Perhaps find more depth in your lunge on every exhale. Take about 3 more breaths here. Smooth and steady. On your next inhale, hands plant underneath the shoulders. Right hand stays down in the mat, left hand to the left inner thigh. Gently nudge that thigh open. You can roll into the knife edge of the left foot. Make sure the toes and the knee are still pointing in the same direction here. Begin to twist open, rolling open with the chest, perhaps even lean back if that feels good. And if you're adding on with the bind for a deeper quad and hip flexor stretch, right knee bend, squeeze the heel to your seat, and reach the left hand to catch the top of the foot for the bind. If you have the bind, press the foot to the hand into the foot, and lean back, finding more depth in the lunge, finding a nice open stretch through the chest. One more deep breath in. Breath out. Gently releasing that bind. Planting that left hand down onto the mat under the shoulder, tuck the right toes, lift the right knee. Big step back with your left foot, downward facing dog. Hips high, chest and thighs press back. From down dog, begin to lower the knees down into the mat. Bring the big toes together to touch and the knees a little wider than the hips. Go ahead and grab onto one of your blocks or books. We'll bring a block on the lowest height underneath the forehead, and we'll sink the seat to the heels as we come into child's pose. Arms can extend forward. Just relax down through the elbows and the forearms. And I want you to imagine that the pressure of the forehead on the block, so right in between the eyebrows pressing into the block, is a button. And that button is activating this sense of release throughout the entire body and the mind. We'll be here for 8 breaths. This pose is cooling and calming. It's a nice release for the hip flexors as well as for the shoulders. Go ahead and pause here. Watch the breath move in and out the body and just melt down into your child's pose. On your next inhale, press into the hands and lift back up, tabletop all fours. Move the block out of the way, and we'll make our way to a seat. Let's roll onto the bum, cross at the shins for this comfortable seat. Sit tall. If you do need more height for tight low back or hip flexors, you can sit on a block or the front edge of a blanket. Palms rest down onto the thighs for a moment. Close down through the eyes. On your inhale, lift the shoulders up to the ears. Exhale, roll the shoulders back and down and hug the shoulder blades together. Again, inhale, shoulders lift to ears. Exhale, roll them back and down. One more like that. Inhale, shoulders lift. Exhale, roll them back and down. Gaze is soft. Inhale, extend the arms out wide like a T in line with your shoulders. Take your left thumb into your palm. Gently wrap the rest of the fingers around that thumb. Tilt the thumb side of the hand down towards the mat and then lower the hand towards the mat, making a diagonal line from the shoulder to the wrist. Bend your right elbow. Take your right hand and gently rest it on your left cheek. And then tilt the head to the right, taking your right ear towards the right shoulder. No need to yank or pull in the head here. You should feel that neck stretch pretty immediately. And no need to grip onto your left thumb for dear life, so relax those fingers. Press down through the thumb side of that wrist as you tilt your head in the opposite direction. And breathe into that stretch from the wrist to the forearm, to the upper arm, to the shoulder, to the neck. Softening every exhale. If you'd like to add on, find a slight tuck in your chin to make your way into the back of the neck. And maybe you lift the chin and lower it back down a few times, finding the spot that really needs the attention and the breath. Place that feels most tense for you. We'll take one more deep breath in. Breath out. Gently release the bind of the hands, lift the head back through center. Lower your hands back down to your thighs. You can open and close the hands, release the wrists. Roll the shoulders up and back. Other side. Arms out wide like a T. Right thumb tucks into the hand. Rest of the fingers gently wrap around the thumb and then tilt the thumb side of the wrist down towards the mat. Lower the arm towards the mat, making this long diagonal line. Bend that left elbow, left hand to your right cheek, gently guiding that head to tilt to the left. Left ear towards the shoulder. Again, no need to yank or apply any force here. It's just gently resting and encouraging that neck stretch. Press down through the thumb side of that right hand and breathe through the wrist. Forearm, upper arm, shoulder into the neck. And again, I invite you to explore here if you'd like to stretch into the back of the neck, slight tuck in through your chin. And perhaps you begin to lift and lower the chin a few times until you find that spot that really needs the stretch, the attention here. One more deep breath in. Breath out. Start to release the bind. Lift the head back through center. Hands down to your thighs. Open and close to the hands. Roll the shoulders up and back. Inhale, take the arms up and overhead. Exhale, cactus the elbows. Draw the shoulder blades in, open wide across the chest. Sweep the left elbow underneath the right and intertwine the forearms for eagle arms. Squeeze the forearms together, lift the elbows the height of the shoulders, press the hands an inch away from the face. Take a deep breath in. Breath out. Unwind, come back to cactus arms, breath in. Other side, right arm underneath left, intertwine at the forearms. Elbows lift the height of the shoulders, hands press an inch away from the face. Take a breath in, breathe into the upper back. Hold for the breath out. Release the bind, take the arms up and overhead. Big stretch, breath in. Hands together, heart center, pause. The next poses, we will need a wall to practice on. So these last restorative poses, we will take longer breaths in. They are very relaxing and restorative, so I invite you to bring your props with you if you need something to help you get more comfortable in these poses. Blocks and blankets are invited. Make some space in the wall so you can bring the short end of your mat to the wall. Once you're there, we'll take a seat facing the wall, about a shin's distance from the wall. Begin to walk your hands back and lay yourself down. Once you're on your back, you might need to adjust a little bit here. We'll start by bringing the feet to the wall. And notice, we want the knees to be at a 90-degree angle, knees stacked over the hips, and ankles in line with the knees of the wall. If this is not happening, you'll either have to scoot closer to the wall to find the stack, or if you feel like you're too close to the wall, just shimmy back a couple inches until you find that 90-degree angle and the knee stacking. Let's stretch through the hips first. So draw your right knee into your chest. Cross your right ankle over your left thigh. Take your right hand to your right inner thigh and just encourage or nudge that thigh forward to the wall. If this is too much, you can scooch away from the wall a couple inches. If you are wanting more of an intense stretch here, you'll lift that left heel, draw your left knee into your chest, taking the foot away from the wall and interlace behind the left hamstring. Soften the shoulders, soften the low back, and as you draw your left knee in, still encourage that right thigh towards the wall. If at any point this position becomes too intense, you can bring your left foot back to the wall and rest your arms down by your sides. We'll be here for 5 more breaths, smooth and steady. On your next inhale, begin to uncross the right leg, bring that foot back to the wall. If you need a little more release, you can straighten through the right leg, give it a little shake. And then bring the right foot back to the wall. Other side, left knee hugs into your chest. Cross the ankle over the right thigh, and encourage that thigh forward with your left hand. If this is too much, scoot yourself back away from the wall. If you're looking for a deeper stretch, draw your right knee in, take the foot away from the wall, interlace behind the right hamstring. Draw your right knee towards your chest and encourage or press that left inner thigh away. You can use the elbow or just using some muscle engagement to move that thigh forward. Shoulders soften, low back softens towards the mat. Breathing into that outer left hip. 5 more breaths.
next inhale, release the bind if you have it. Take that right foot back to the wall, uncross the left foot. You can lengthen it, give it a little shake. Bring the foot back to the wall, and now draw both knees into your chest. Move these blocks out the way. Bring your arms out wide like a T. Palms are facing up. Begin to scooch the hips to the right a couple inches, and then allow the knees to release to the left. You're welcome to stay here. If you need less intensity in your stretch, you can stagger the legs, so move that right leg over to the right. Or another option is to take your blanket in between your inner thighs and use it as a pillow. You can always grab a pillow too. Use it as a pillow between the thighs for support. One more option is to take your left hand in the top of your right thigh just to encourage the legs to move in the opposite direction as the upper body. Once you've found a comfortable place, on every inhale, breathe the length down that right side body. On every exhale, allow the ribs to revolve right, the head might turn right. At this point, you can let breath and gravity take over here, deepening your twist on every exhale, softening into it on every exhale. We'll take 5 more breaths here. On your next inhale, we'll begin to unwind and come back through center. If you have props, shift them off to one side for a moment. Bring your knees back through center, feet to the mat, move your hips through center if you move them. We'll take the other side. We'll move the hips to the left a couple inches, knees to chest, arms out wide, and then knees shift to the right. Again, variations here. You can move your left leg to the left to stagger the legs for a more gentle twist. You can support the twist with a blanket or pillow between the legs. Another option is right hand to the top of your left thigh, encouraging that leg to move down towards the right as the ribs revolve to the left. If it's okay in the neck, the head can turn left. Try to really melt that left shoulder down towards the mat. And as we pause here and breathe, on every inhale, feel length travel down that left side body. On every exhale, release into this twist, letting breath and gravity take over. 5 more breaths here. On your next inhale, we'll begin to unwind, move the head through center, move the legs through center. Feet to the mat, hips through center, props off to the side. We'll make our way to our final resting pose, and on offer is legs up the wall, which is very restorative, very good for the immune system, great for reversing the blood flow down the legs. Basically my favorite restorative posture ever. So to come to this pose, I invite you to shift to one side and press yourself up. You can also shimmy over to the wall, but that does require a little more work, I think. We'll sit right next to the wall, bringing one hip in contact with the wall. Use the hands to support you as you lay yourself back, and as you lean back, begin to pivot so that the legs swing up the wall and the seat faces the wall. The seat can be an inch or so away from the wall or very close to touching, depends on your body. What you want to feel is the legs leaning somewhat against the wall. The ankles are stacking over the hips here. The feet are relaxed, hips width distance apart or together. Arms can be down by your sides, palms facing up, or you can bring hands to belly or one hand to heart, one hand to belly. You can also bring arms up and overhead, bending at the elbows, finding a nice shoulder, chest opener for this place. And at any point, if this is not feeling comfortable for you, you can shift onto your back, legs long on the mat for corpse pose. Once you've found a comfortable place here, go ahead and close down through the eyes. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Open mouth, side out. 2 more rounds like that. Deep breath in through the nose. Open mouth, release. Once more, deepest breath in. Open mouth, let it go. Allow your eyes to roll back into their sockets. The tongue releases from the roof of your mouth. Let go of any effort in the body, the breath, and the mind. And allow yourself to rest here completely. Shavasana. Begin to deepen out the breath here. Feel the chest and the belly rise and fall. Bring some gentle movements to the body, starting with the fingers and the toes, the wrists, the ankles. On your next inhale, reach the arms up and overhead. Lengthen through all 4 sides of the body. Bend the knees, draw the knees into your chest, and gently roll to the right side. Rest in this fetal position for 1 moment, setting down any last bits of unnecessary tension you don't need. When you're ready, use the hands to press yourself up to a comfortable seat. Keep the gaze soft or the eyes closed. Meeting in our seat, sit tall, draw hands together at heart center in prayer position. Take a moment to thank yourself for taking the time to slow down, to stretch it out, to restore. Inhale to lift the chest. Exhale, bow the head to meet the fingertips, sealing in this practice and this calm. It was an honor to share this practice with you. Thank you for stepping on your mat with us today. Namaste.